Sup people, welcome to the third episode of a video series building in Ghana with the associated cost. Today we'll be looking at the external sewage system, and for our bonus discussion we'll be looking at how to make estimates for your blocks, your cement and your iron rods. So right on your screen you have the sewage or drainage system for the apartment. So in the first picture you see that is for the 2-bedroom guest toilet and then basin. So basically it just involves two systems, one for the hand basin and then the other for the toilet. Now I use 2 inches for the drains and then 4 inches for the toilet. And the next one is the master bedroom and the second bedroom of the 2-bedroom side. As you can see, 4 inches again for the toilet and then 2 inches for the drains. Now what I want to draw your attention to is that in as much as the plumber may be the expert, what you need to bear in mind is that common sense should prevail. So it's okay to offer advice so that you can save on some materials. On the screen you will notice that there is a split for the 2 toilets. Before, the plumber wanted to have one pipe going all the way to the end of the building and then a second one for the 2 toilets, and then they're going to join to the long pipe you see projecting up. But then when I looked at it, I felt it wouldn't make sense. It would just be waste of resources. So I told him to split it like you can see on the screen. At least it's not much money that you will spend, but it's just efficiency, using resources judiciously. So you should feel free to offer advice, at least common sense advice, or let me say efficiency advice when they are working. And if they see the sense in it, they will take it. If there is a negative or disadvantage, they're going to tell you as well. Again, 2 inches for the drains and then 4 inches for the toilet, but then you will notice that the one that projects up, that will bring the waste from the top, the drains is 3 inches because it's going to be serving multiple units or multiple drains. So the 2 inches would flow into the 3 inches so that it will be able to carry the water. The next one is the master bedroom sewage system for the 3-bedroom. You can see that as well, 4 inches for the toilet and then 2 inches for the drains, going into 3 inches all the way up and then 4 inches pipe all the way up as well. And then we have the visitors washroom for the 3-bedroom side next, which is also next to the 2nd bedroom. So again, based on my suggestion, we decided to do it the same way rather than having 2 separate pipes going into one for the toilet. So people, don't buy end caps when the plumbers ask you to. It's totally useless. I bought a lot of them in my first project. Fortunately for this one, I had learned my lesson. As you can see in the video, they are able to cut the PVC, the end of it, and then bend it over as I've highlighted, which serves the same purpose as the end cap. Otherwise you're going to buy lots of end cap, 20, 30, depending on your waste, the quantity of waste pipes you have, and one is about $1, which is completely useless once the whole project is done and you have to install your toilets and sinks and so on. So don't buy it. When they write it, just tell them to bend the PVC over, as you can see in the video. So next, let's move to the guest bedroom washroom of the 3-bedroom side and then the kitchen, where we have the toilet being 4 inches, again 4 inches pipe, PVC pipe, and then 2 inches for the drains going into one. All these had to be done before the concrete for the foundation slab had to be poured. That was 6 inches. And then I decided to go for the biodigester. This was in 2019. At that point it was 2,000 cedis for the 4x2, that's 4 feet by 2 feet, standard one for a home. I decided to go for 4 of those, so technically that should have been about 8,000, but I negotiated and got it at 4,300. The reason was he was going to join the 2, so we'll have 2 separate ones, one being 2 by 8, and so 2 by 8 too. So that tend to have reduced the cost a little, so I got it for 4,300. It just involves introduction of organisms to feed on the waste, whereas there's a filter. As you can see, those slabs there are the filters. I think it's aerated concrete, so it allows water to pass through and filters it out, as well as the coconut husk, which you see later. So all those will filter the water, and the water drains down and then goes all the way to my Sakaway. Now the practice in Ghana mainly is to connect the wastewater to the drains. I wasn't too comfortable with that, so I decided to do the Sakaway. Okay, now people, free advice: don't use manpower to do the digging of your manhole or your Sakaway. In our first project, I rented a backhoe, that's the excavator, and within 2 hours it was done. I paid about 800 cedis. Now I wanted to do the same for this, but my guys, by that I mean the workers, said they wanted some money, so I should let them do it, so that they will take 700. I gave the job to them. They dug just about 2.5 feet, and then said the ground was just too hard, so it was going to be a challenge for them. At that point they had taken 500 cedis already, so they stopped. It took them about 8 months to do the digging. Meanwhile, if I had just gone for the excavator, that would have been done in about 2 hours. So just go with an excavator. They usually will charge 800 or 800 a day for that. Within 2 hours it should be done, and you would have your peace of mind. So with the digging done, I just had to pour the concrete on the ground. As you can see, I put in some pipes, 3-inch pipes, and then 1/2-inch pipes, 3/4-inch pipes, to allow the water to seep to the ground. And I waited on the day that we had a concrete mixer for the casting of the 2-bedroom first floor. I used that to also do the manhole. That's cost saving because I don't have to pay extra labor for that. So that was it. And then once that was done, the block laying started. The dimension of the Sakaway, it's 9 feet by 10 feet, and it is 8 feet deep. So I divided it into 2. Now I put in iron rods for reinforcement because I will be parking cars there. That place will be part of the parking space. So I used 14 mm, as you can see. I used 3 in the middle and then 6 at the sides, and you'll soon see the slab reinforcement as well. So if you see the corner there, I put in pipes instead of the traditional spaces in the blocks. The advantage with this is if you put in the pipes, 3 or 4 inches pipe, and you tilt it downwards, it prevents the soil, that's the backfill, from getting into your Sakaway. So at least it doesn't get filled up with soil as quickly as it would if it had been the traditional method where they leave spaces in between the blocks. So that's the decking. So he charged me 400 cedis. It took him about 2 days to do it. So 400 cedis should be about $80 thereabout. So that was it. And then the steel bending, that's the reinforcement, was also 400 cedis, which is also about $80. I use 11.5 mm for the decking, that's the slab, but then I had a few left, so I decided to do a double for strength because of the parking. And then I used the 16 mm for the secret beam. I didn't want the beam to, I wanted it to flash with the slab, so I used 16 mm and did a secret beam, 3 down and then 2 up. And also the concrete thickness, that's the slab thickness at the top, was 7 inches, also because of the parking. So that is it that you see in your shot. Then we had to do the connection of the pipes in the foundation all the way to the suckaway after it was done, and that is the video. So it starts from the clean out of the kitchen. So now there's no need to do those block clean outs, you just have to use PVC pipes, and then there's a cover, so if there's any problem they're going to open it and then remove whatever it is that is clogging the pipes. And then you see that the visitor's toilet had to go into the manhole. Fortunately, I had a good plan, so the sloping was okay, so I could pass all the pipes at the back instead of having some past the front, which I was doing everything possible to prevent, so that at least I have a fair idea of where all my sewage pipes are. So as you can see, it just joins the 2-bedroom side. All of them will have their own biodigester, and the 3-bedrooms as well. And then you just have to follow the video as it continues into the soak away. Alright, so now let's look at the total cost for the external sewage system. I'll just filter this. I've already colored all the external plumbing costs, so I'll just sort by color. We'll see. Okay, so the ones that you see with the orange background are those that were already included in the foundation cost, because we needed to fix these pipes in the foundation before the casting. So I'm not going to include that in the cost because we've already captured that in the foundation. So let's see what we have here for the total cost. So that was 8,435 Ghana cedis, which should be about $1,400 to $1,500 roughly for the plumbing, for the external sewage system up to the soakaway. Typically the sewage system is done after the building is completed. The reason why I had to do it at this point was initially we planned to finish the ground floor and rent it out, but we thought about it and we noticed that the people who will be able to afford a good rent wouldn't want to live in an uncompleted unit. So we decided to finish the 3-bedroom side before renting. And as you would notice, as you keep following the video series, we changed our mind again, and now we are going for finishing everything before renting. That way you have a good price for the unit. So for our bonus discussions for today, let's do something practical so that we'll appreciate how to do the estimate for blocks, cement, and then iron rod. So I'm going to pull up my foundation plan. And then I'll have my calculator here. So to estimate the quantity of blocks you need, you just need to get the dimension of your building. So for mine, from this point up to this point is about 82 feet. From here to here is 42 feet. And then from here to here it's about 33 feet. I know the dimensions already, so if I add 80, I pull up this also about 80, from here another, and then this also another 80 roughly. So 80 times 4 is 320, and then here it's 42. So 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 40 times 4, 8 is 32. So that brings us to roughly, I know this side is not up to 42, this is 33, but I just decided to do everything 42. So 40 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is also another 32. So roughly that's about 600 feet in all. I'm not adding this because it will make up for the ones that we added here, should make up for this as well. So all you need to do is you roughly have about 600 feet in all. A block in Ghana is 18 inches, that's 1 foot 6. So all you need to do is, to make the calculation easier, you need to convert this 600 feet you have into inches. To do that, you just put 600 and then you multiply it by 12. That will give you the inches equivalent. So with this you have 7,200. Now you can divide it by 18 inches, which is the length of a block. So that gives you 400 blocks, and it makes sense because it was about that quantity that I used about 350. Now I don't add the mortar joints, which is the space in between the blocks, because it's an estimate. So that means to have a single course all over the building, you will need 400. Now most of the time people do 10 courses, that's 10 layers of blocks, or 11. I did 11 so that at least you have enough room for the ceiling, So to know how many blocks you would actually need for one floor all the way up, you just have to multiply this by 11. 4,400. If you want to do 10, that's going to be 4,000. Now I know there's going to be windows, there's going to be doors. I don't factor those in because practically when people are making estimates for you, or professionals are making estimates for you, they would often add 10% to the total. I don't add the 10%, and that is why I don't factor in the windows and the doors. I just do everything. In any case, the blocks will be left and you get to use them for your wall or for your next level. So it's as easy as that. And then when it comes to the cement, like I indicated earlier in one of the episodes, for the 5 inches, a mason is supposed to use 2 bags of cement to lay between 80 and 100 blocks. Now whenever you making your estimates, always use the minimum number. So in this case we will use 80. So what it means is, if you have 4,400 blocks, in this case it's going to be 4,400, right, divided by 80. So that gives you 55, and then we said 2 bags for that. So now you just have to multiply this 55 by those 2 bags per day, which equals 110 bags of cement to lay all the blocks that are required for the first floor. So that means that every 2 bags will lay 80. I go usually with the average, which is 90, but most of the time they lay between 85 and 90. Of course, they also play games because they don't want to lay the 100 even if they can, because they want to make more money. So often they will play around 85, 90. So I think it's just fair if you go with 80. That way you don't get any surprises, or you don't get short financially on the way. It's a similar thing with the iron rod. You have to use the same length. Now one length of iron rod is supposed to be 30, but sometimes it doesn't get to the 30. So like I said, use the lowest possible value, which is 28 feet. So 28 feet, and then you check the length of the building. The thing with the iron rod is, because the building is longer than 28 or 30 feet, you have to join it. You cannot just join it at the tip. The formula for joining is 50D. What that means is you multiply the diameter of the iron rod by 50. So if you are using if you are using 16 mm, it's going to be 50 times 16. So that's 800 millimeters. So to have it in feet, just divide that by 300. So that gives you 2.5 feet. So if you're using 16 mm, the lapping length has to be at least 2.5 feet. So you need to add that to the calculation, and then also add about 1 foot for the bending at the sides where they join the columns or pillars. So that is it for the iron rods. If you're doing 14 mm, we can just do that as an example. So for the 14 mm, it's going to be 14 times 50. Remember, the formula is 50D. D is the diameter, so 14 mm, and then the formula is 50, so that gives you 700. You divide that by 300. That gives you 2.3 feet, which is roughly about 2 feet 3 inches. So you realize that it's very easy to do, and once you get the estimate right, you are able to budget and work towards your project. So people, that is it for today. If you have any questions, just post it in the comment section. I usually would answer all questions every Sunday, so just make sure you post it before the next Sunday. So until then, watch out for the 4th episode, where we will be looking at the block work for the first floor and then the casting of the slab for the first floor as well. For the bonus discussion, we will be talking about supervising your building project from abroad, where I give you the tips on how to do it. Thanks for watching and see you within the next 2 weeks. Enjoy, people.